Yeah, Woody, what's going on? It's your boy Crypto Blood. Welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is May 1st, 2018. Man, this year's going by fast. Want to give a shout out to my man El Flaco. I ain't seen him in a minute. Shout out to you. Hope you're doing well down there in Miami. He wanted me to play some Hot Boys. We on fire. I met up with El Flaco when I went to the Bitcoin conference, that International Bitcoin Conference in Miami earlier this year. Had a great time with him. He went up to with me to film when I was filming with Reggie, so that was cool. We went to eat, me and the wife and him and a couple other people all went to eat afterwards too. So man, we had fun. Appreciate the support, Flaco. And also got in the rotation from David Steels. He wanted me to play some Biggie, Kick in the Door from the Life After Death album, another classic. So shout out to both of you guys. What's good, people? It's May 1st. Man, this year is going by fast. We're going to get right into it today. Got a couple things. I did a video yesterday regarding EOS and the possible vulnerability from an overstack flow. Dan Limmer actually put out a response to that article, and we're going to take a look at that. And also I have another one pertaining to IOTA, their project. They took a huge L. We'll go over that in a second, but first let's take a look at the markets. Market cap is currently at $408 billion. 24-hour volume is $28 billion. Kind of a mixed day. I think we're kind of in an indecisive mode right now. Let's take a look at my favorites. We got ETH, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, Monero, BAT. I actually don't have all my favorites up there. I'll have to fix that later. But EOS is back up a little bit. It's at 17 bucks. It dropped down yesterday. Let's take a look at 7-day. So it hit a low of about $16. Actually, it was, about yesterday, $16. Looking good though for EOS for the most part. Bitcoin Cash still down, struggling. Last 7 days, but overall looking pretty good. Got up to 1,500 on April 24th. That's crazy. That is crazy. I still hodl my Bitcoin Cash and was meaning to buy some when it was down in the sixes earlier this month, but slipped by me. But let's take a look at my chart really quickly. Again, I told you guys we got to stay above this 8,600. Is a pretty good support area, should be for us. If we drop below that, then we may be heading further down to back to the sevens. Very possible if we drop back below this trend line, this red trend line here. You know, we in the trading room, we actually went short or sold, if you want to say, on last week? Yeah, last week. So we're actually out of the Litecoin position. We're not in a Bitcoin position either. We got out of that a couple days ago as well. Only position we're still long is Ethereum, and we're up on that. We went double long. We're still up on both of those positions. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we can stay above the 8,600 and keep it going here. So let's take a look at this rebuttal from your boy Dan Limmer out of EOS. He said here, just debunked IOTA Takes claims that EOS IO has same batch overflow vulnerability. I'll leave a link to this, but he essentially debunked that. And many people who commented on the video I did yesterday, I wasn't baitclicking or anything like that. I was just reporting on the actual article. I personally didn't think that it would be a major issue. There are going to be bugs in any platform. You know, you can kind of look at EOS as an operating system, and someone else mentioned that. So you're going to have bugs, but hopefully the major ones can be found prior to going live. And, you know, if this was an actual bug or whatnot, it was done and it was found in testnet. But Dan Limmer says here, And I'll bring up the actual Medium, and I'll link this as well. So the article out of Medium, he posted on Medium. Dan Limmer did April 30th, yesterday. So he says here, debunking claimed vulnerability in EOS IO smart contract system. A story has been circulating that EOS is vulnerable to the same kind of bug as the recent batch overflow bug that crippled many ERC20 tokens on Ethereum. The team at IOTA Technology and its research platform VAS has managed to prove that EOS is Turing complete and capable of replacing any logic, including the logic behind the batch overflow bug. The problem is not a security vulnerability as they represent, but the result of poor coding practices. There's nothing a smart contract platform can do to prevent developers from making mistakes, he meant. Such mistakes are not security vulnerabilities in the underlying platform. So that kind of gives you the overall. He's basically saying that it's not the platform, it's the way the person or the group coded and tested the script which caused that issue. And you know, that's true. Like, if you're programming, you don't from a syntax standpoint code your program or script in the right way. It's not the compiler problem, it's you. It's what you've done that's the actual error. So glad he put that out, and that kind of puts that to rest, hopefully. And we're going to keep moving on and keep mooning with EOS. I personally think still EOS is the best project in blockchain right now. Will it be in the future? Who knows? I'm just telling you, I think it has the greatest potential to make a huge impact, positive impact in the crypto community in the next year or two. So that's that. I'll leave a link to that so you guys can look at that in total. It's about a 3-minute read, and he kind of breaks it down fairly succinctly. So the other article I wanted to go over is out of Cointelegraph. IOTA takes an L here. It says University College London cuts ties with IOTA, cites support for open security research. So the Center for Block Technologies at University College London has posted an announcement on its website that it has dissolved its ties with IOTA Foundation. The note emphasizes CBT's commitment to open security research and reads in full as follows. UCL Center of Blockchain Technologies is no longer associated with the IOTA Foundation. In relation to recent news report, we reaffirm our support for open security research as a prerequisite for understanding the assurances provided by any blockchain technology. It is inappropriate for security researchers to be subject to threats of legal action for disclosing their results. While it remains unconfirmed, CBT's allusion to recent news reports and researchers being subject to threats of legal action appears to be a reference to the controversial fallout over an IOTA vulnerability report that was published last September as part of MIT's digital currency initiative that found a vulnerability in IOTA's open source repositories on GitHub. Though IOTA responded by fixing the vulnerability and did not initially deny the curl hash function could be compromised, they suggested such an attack would be impractically complex and that users' funds were not seriously at risk. The situation deteriorated on October 17th when leaked correspondence appeared to show IOTA's lead cryptographer acting independently of the IOTA Foundation, threatening one of the researchers with legal action. In addition to deciding to sever ties with IOTA, the University College of London appears to have now removed all entries on IOTA from the CBT website. As TNW further reports, IOTA's page on the CBT site now returns a 404 error, but an archived version still can be retrieved. So, man, for you IOTA holders out there, I know there are a few supporters of IOTA. What do you think about this? Is this going to be a major blow to IOTA's progress and adoption? I'm not too familiar with the project in total. I know they had some hiccups earlier or late last year that really messed up the price of IOTA, but you know, like I said, and even with the EOS thing, these blockchains are really pushing the envelope, and so you're going to have issues, bugs. It's more about the team and how they bounce back and how quickly they recover and fix these issues. That's going to be the ultimate barometer on which ones are going to be successful and which ones aren't. I mean, we saw what happened with the DAO, the DAO, Ethereum. Some people really didn't agree with how they handled that. And as a result, you saw Ethereum Classic be Ethereum Classic born out of that. So let me know your thoughts on the IOTA Foundation, their issue, and severing ties with University College of London. Interesting. And before we get out of here for today, I do want to leave a thought for you. It's a comment of the day. And, you know, let me know your thoughts about this, because, you know, this is very true, man. I mean, sometimes, you know, of course, we all kind of knew or understand the tax ramifications, at least in the U.S., on how the IRS is looking at cryptos. But sometimes it just takes like that simple comment from someone to really spark the conversation or a thought. So my man Dave Divine says, if I buy a cup of coffee with Litecoin at Starbucks, do I have to know how much I paid for the Litecoin and what the price of Litecoin was at the time I bought the coffee to compute capital gains on that sale? And I said, yes, laughed my ass off. It's sad. And really, to be honest, until the guidelines change here in the States, no cryptocurrency will be used as currency in an effective manner. And, you know, that's true in my opinion. You know, more so, I guess not even so much I guess it depends on the way that transaction is conducted. So if I'm going to Starbucks and I pay for a cup of coffee with Litecoin, and I pay them that specific amount in Litecoin, but there's no conversion, so they don't go from Litecoin to fiat, then maybe not. Maybe that's just an exchange from one person to another. So I guess it's just going to depend on how the merchant is handling those payments, those purchases. So I would think for risk controls and managing risk from a merchant such as like Starbucks, or you can even take like an Amazon, I would think a large percentage, maybe not 100%, but a large percentage of those crypto transactions would be settled in fiat right away. With that being said, from a tax liability standpoint, that seems to me to be could be complicated, you know. So we'll have to see what happens. We definitely need the IRS to get their act together and give us better guidelines on how to handle cryptocurrencies, because the current framework is just not, it's not reasonable. And, you know, it's not something we can use in like a real world application of cryptocurrencies being used as currencies. So you guys let me know. That's my 2 Satoshis on it. But that's it. I'm kicking in the door, waving the fofo. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out. Holla.
Now you're brilling it, slash that light shit, I'm scaling it, conscience of your nonsense.